Well, it's shocking to me sometimes to go around the world and to recognize that there are people who don't understand that Jesus was Jewish and that the roots of our faith are in Judaism. And one of the really beautiful things about the show that we've seen is even in the country of Israel, which would traditionally be a little bit resistant towards a Jesus show, it is growing rapidly there because we are honoring Jewish prayers, Jewish rituals. We are not saying that Jesus represented a new thing. He was honoring his heritage. He was just enhancing and uplifting and fulfilling it. And so in our research and when we're portraying Jesus and the disciples, one of the things we like to do too is, like through, for example, Mary Magdalene, we portray her as someone who left kind of the roots of her faith, and then she acts as an audience proxy to ask questions and to come back to it. And so the country of Israel and the Jewish people there, even those who are not believers in Jesus, are so appreciative of the fact that we are not only not denying the Jewishness of Jesus, we are celebrating it, and we're seeing Gentiles all over the world start to do these prayers and really embrace it. So it's been a beautiful thing.
You know, I think when you're connected to your faith, I think when you're grounded in your belief, and for me it's that, you know, Jesus is the ultimate. And if I'm trying to model my life after him, he was the supreme example of humility. You look at the cross, I mean, there's no one that was more humble than he was. And so I have to remember that everything that I have is because of him. Everything that I went through was to get to this point where I surrendered to him. And as a result, he's taken me out of the pit and put me here with you guys in Dallas and Liz in an incredible place that, you know, words, I mean, I pinch myself every day. Words cannot really adequately describe how I feel, but all of it goes back to him, and without him I am nothing.
And all three of us, genuinely, in the months leading up to season 1 of the show, all were probably in some of the darkest places of our lives, and that's been true of a lot of cast and crew who came to the show, and I think that's part of it. I think that's part of the impact of it, is that so many of us have embraced that we're not worthy and that we're surrendered and humbled, and may that never change.
I myself have been struggling with those unhealthy narratives my entire life. So getting to see, just in the audition, this character who was a realistic portrayal of a woman who's struggling with PTSD, struggling with shame and trauma and fears and anxieties and all of these memories that assault her. To see her story transform, to see her character transform through meeting Jesus and being healed by him and having a happy ending to that is such a relief. And it was such a relief to me just to read that one scene in my room ready for the audition, that he sees us. He sees through our pain and through our coping mechanisms and who we try to be for maybe society or family, or, you know, as women, we're trying to please everyone all of the time. We're kind of trained that way, and this character realizes that she doesn't need to please the world. She needs to bring her heart to God, and it's really simple. And yet, because of all of the voices in society and the way we're brought up and trying to look right and be right and all these perfection issues, we can forget the most important thing, which is that we are his, we are loved, and that's where we need to begin. So I feel like she's been a wonderful example of how to start changing your life, how to start giving your heart to God, and it's these simple things that are really hard to do, but once you start doing them, your entire life changes. And so she's been a wonderful sort of example and role model for me.
Definitely this show, the Mothership show, is only going to be 7 seasons, and then I think we're all going to nap for about a year. But yeah, if God wills, I would love to tell Bible stories the rest of my life and point people to Jesus, which is what Old Testament stories do and New Testament stories do. So we'll see. But right now we're going back to filming season 5 in 1 week, and the thought of doing more is tough to take. But we'll see.
It could roll into your father's movies too, a new rendition.
Yes, my father did the Book of Revelation, but that's many books down the line, so hopefully I'll be able to do something like that for him before I die, but this comes first. Yeah, over the Christmas season, I got to film a movie that I've been chasing for over 15 years, based on the book The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. And because of The Chosen, finally people started to pay attention and let me do it. So I got a chance to do that. And Liz actually is in it, has a brief role in the movie. And we actually just did some test screenings, and it went very, very well. And so we are heading towards a holiday release at the end of this year. So, yeah, but I'm back to my day job now, which is The Chosen. We start filming, resume filming in Texas in 1 week.
Hey Dallas, you kind of mentioned a little bit on stage just a little bit ago, kind of the spiritual warfare. Can you share, like, how intense is that? I mean, you're telling a story that Satan does not like. Can you share, like, and let us know how we can be praying for you guys, because how important it is. Just, I'm sure you're seeing it constantly, that battle.
I will say that when we're on set, there does seem to be, it's a bit of a sacred space, and it feels like, we've done over like 250 days of filming at least, and we've never fallen behind. It feels like God always just kind of lifts us up. It's in the off season, it's offset, where any day I know that Jonathan or Liz or myself or any one of our actors or crew is coming with something heavy. And we hope that the set is one place that's like an oasis and all that, but it's in our personal lives, it's in our relationships and families where it seems like we get the most heat. And so God's got the show for sure, and we're happy to be serving that. But yeah, when people ask for prayer, it's usually our personal lives, our families, where we get the most of it. So thank you for that.